All right. Hey, good morning, folks. We're going to do some artwork this morning. Give me a second here to check my signal, make sure we're coming through. We got some social media posts to do real fast, and then we're going to get to work. So let's see. Off the cuff, let's first check to see if we're sounding clear. Let's first check to see. Yeah. Okay, cool. It sounds like I'm coming through real clear. So I'm going to grab that link here real quick, and we'll update on the socials that I'm live. That's only going to take a second, so let me distract you with my my origin story here. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish online. And I'm creating content for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. You can see here, Crystals Umabar. It's for Eberron, characters level 7 and 8. I've been an Eberron enthusiast since 2004. I've been a DM since 1987. A freelance illustrator since 1999, and I've been creating content on DMsGuild since 2018, but I haven't done anything for Eberron, despite it being my homebrew world of choice for the past 20 years. So let's change that. We're fighting necromancers, undead, and demons in the Carnwood of Karnath on the continent of Corvair. I'm here 9 times per week, Monday through Friday in the morning, Mondays and Thursday nights, like last night. We do game design, and then Tuesdays and Friday lunchtimes, like today, we also do game design, and in the mornings we do artwork like this for whatever book is next to publish. So let's see. Let me fix my screen here real quick and just conclude with if you think this stuff is cool. Here's the full playlist of all 484 episodes. Here's a slew of other books that I've made on the DMsGuild already. They all have free previews, so you can click the eye icon on your phone or the full preview link on desktop, and it'll pop open a PDF for you to take a look at what I do. If you think it's cool, consider picking it up. Also, hey, new subscribers. Thanks a lot, guys. New subscribers. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we're live in the future. And yeah, let's dive into today. So let's get this cover out of the way. We made this back around episode 40, so you can jump into the Wayback Machine to check that out if you want. We've been working on corn mazes for a number, for 4 sessions. So we finally have all the cornfields done. Now I just need to parse them. So here is the cornfield that's part of here. Let's drop this out of the way and kick on down to here. Here is the here's a farming homesteads, and this is just house, barn, pea patch, some copse of trees here and here, and then here's the start of cornfields. And like all good cornfields, there's corn mazes through it that in the future we can use for undead adventuring or just like random questing stuff. You can crash through the cornfields as as difficult terrain, or you can use the established paths as normal terrain. The undead, of course, can sense you and come at you through the corn maze, but while you're inside the corn, your vision is obscured beyond 5 feet. So you have very limited visibility. The undead don't have a similar limitation. Obviously, something went wrong here. And then we have it going off the page. So let's go down and look at where off the page would lead. So that says village area. It's supposed to say homestead. So actually, let's open that up so I don't miss it. So let's remove that from the list before it causes me any trouble. Good. Let's see, where are we at? I'm going to go down to page 15. So I'm just going to update the document real quick just to make sure. This is supposed to homestead area. So let's update that now that I'm thinking about it. Homestead area 6, very good. There was another flaw that we had up on page 7, I think, where I had a mistype. Let's go there real quick. Where was that? Hold on. And while that's popping open, the format that we're using is a 17-inch wide, 10-inch tall page. It has a 1/2-inch border around it, so this will fit into an 11 by 17 legal sheet. To be able, if you really want to print this out, you can do so on 11 by 17 pages, but it fits on tablets and devices like this. It fills the space, and it's a 12-point font, so it's really large. This is page 4 to the underground, page 4. Gatehouse. Down to the underground facility. Cool. Fix that. Those icons look pretty good. So let's fold up page 4 and put a lock on it. I'm gonna save that real quick. I'm gonna grab a slurp of coffee while we do it. For every sip of coffee, you need 2 water. To maintain hydration, pay attention. You don't want to get kidney stones. You don't want kidney stones. Those will kill you. If society crumbles, you will crumble with it. Let's so page 1 to 7. I mean, other than me dropping in my my dragon icon and social media and contact stuff here, this page is pretty much done. So let's blip that out of the way. Pretty happy about that. I still have just a little bit of trim work to do there, but cool. So this is now Homestead. There it is. Black, white. Homestead. But we already fixed it, so tool over here. So here is the corn maze. You can see it leads off the page here. Let's see, I need to drop down here. Let's use the square. Like that. Just doing some simple edging there, and then we can bring this down. I think I want to fuzz out the border. Like I like to, you can see in Like here, you can see how I do this faded edge, so it just kind of like fades into the page. That's generally how I like to do these things. Farmhouse, tragedy struck, barn, yeesh. Also some tragedy there. And then you can see how the footprints lead out of the barn and lead out of the homestead down into, apparently somebody up and ran off into the corn mazes to hide, and it didn't work. So the undead came after you, but that launches undead maze work. So you don't need to have an undead maze activity in your adventure if you don't want to, or you could just peel this out as a Halloween special to play Children of the Corn and just run around amok in the cornfields if you want to. But so it's not necessary, but we included it, for the lulz. So let's grab our smudge brush. We're going to drop it down to 20% opacity. And that is absolutely the wrong button. Let's do that. Let's go here to the smudge layer. Let's push this out like that. Can in fact piracy be the correct course of action? So we built all these 10 by 10 tiles. 10 by 10? Is that true? 2 by 2, men in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 by 10 tiles that fit. So basically 50-foot squares. I'm really, if you've seen the development work, I have a playlist on my YouTube channel here of me doing all of the artwork for the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration supplement that I created, which is linked down below, where we changed the scale of movement and combat for Spelljammer ships. Fighter craft fit inside 50-foot squares, and the larger vessels fit inside the 500-foot squares. And we can conduct space combat using the 5e game mechanics to basically utilize the normal 5e action economy and movement system to have ships be able to engage in dogfights and explore asteroids. And you can't call them mega dungeons because that has a meaning already. Like, I guess massive dungeons might be an okay word to use, but you can upscale your squares to 50 or 500 feet and be able to conduct adventure like normal on the craft of a ship, or as like a supersized soldier. I don't know the language there, but we've been building a mecha kaiju supplement for Spelljammer. Mecha as in your characters pilot war golems instead of fighter craft. Fighter craft are shaped like for if you don't know, like a lot of the ships in Spelljammer are shaped like animals, like fish or insects, birds. That's generally the motif that they follow. Fish, insects, and birds, right? I'm gonna push up the strength of my smudge brush to 40 just to get a little bit better traction and distance. God, that feels good. That feels really, really good along that top edge there. Really, really like how that looks. This is very promising. So yeah, most of these ships are shaped like, animals. And the mecha book, the war golems are shaped like people. They're made out of people. So we want to have them operate properly. You have supersized weapons and supersized equipment that your characters can then pilot these massive warframe vehicles and fight, kaiju Pacific Rim style. So we've built out the mechanic. I mean, those mechanics all are already in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration document linked down below. But the Mecha Kaiju supplement is going to, instead of melee combat and range combat in fish-shaped ships, it's going to be in people-shaped ships, so that you can, instead of your pilot making like attacks with like natural weapons like claws on the scorpion ship, or stabby claws on the spider ships. Instead, it's you pick up a 30-foot warhammer and you blap something, and then the kaiju side of it is we have a in one of our published videos called the Mega Kaiju. That you can watch that video down below, and you can watch Dragonflight to look at how to conduct creature combat at the mega scale. Like the Mega Kaiju is like 1,500 feet in size. It occupies a 3x3 space, a huge space at the 500-foot scale. It's massive, and in the scenario that we presented, it's attacking the Rock of Brawl. It's trying to eat its forest for just easy food. Some casual grazing, right? Well, that's going to kill the air supply for everybody on the rock. So that kaiju has to be stopped before it can destroy all of the plant life. That's your mission. It's just a little one-shot defense scenario, but it helps highlight the value and importance of having a navy to protect your settlement in Spelljammer. So we're gonna take that scenario and basically build it out into use that format to convert Storm King's Thunder into a Spelljammer adventure where you're defending asteroid communities from Mega Kaiju with your war golems and fighter craft. So we're currently doing a play test for martial powers in a 5-foot scale mega dungeon, but once that and then after that, we're going to be doing Mage Tower competitions, like PvPvE combat sports matches using Strixhaven's Mage Tower sport to play test 11th through 20th level combat options. And then once we finish that, I think that should conclude in January. And then we can actually get to publishing the Martial Powers book, and then we can start building out and running Storm King's Thunder as our playtest scenario for the Spelljammer supplements. So, long story short, too late. That's our plans for the rest of the year and into 2026. Hey, that's my friendly timer. Thank you, Timely Timer. Yeah, this is shaping up pretty good. Just keep it up. Smudge all this stuff down, and it's all gonna be good. And when we finish this page, we'll move on to the next block. We've pretty much got all the map and stuff figured out for the first 25 some odd pages of this. It's 100 pages, like 100 of these pages of adventure. So it's more like 200 pages of adventure, which is a lot of shit. You can get through, if you run absolutely everything in here and start at 7th level, you can end at 9th level. You can one shot by starting by being plane shifted by your adventure sponsors directly into the last dungeon, or you could start at 8th level and just cut it short, or be skimpy on like doing milestones with XP. But there's enough content in here to keep your characters busy for 2 full levels if you want. Gotta keep those. edges blurred here. A map literally ends at this into this square, so I need to smudge out that edge so you can't see it, and just fade it in so it feels more infinite. And then we'll add some samples of the tiles down below, and then we'll be done with this page. It's not a very complicated page. Just gotta drop down the opacity on that so it's a softer smudge. Now that we have the rough of it in place, we can soften the smudge so it bleeds a little bit easier. 40% push and then a 20% lift, basically like lifting. Add some air to it. And just smudge that all in so it has faded edges. Make it pretty. And it takes a little while to do this, doesn't it? That's okay. I'm not in a hurry. Obviously, with almost 500 episodes under our belt, I am not in a hurry. Oh, God, I had a select layer going? That's weird. Okay, cool. That looks good. So we can get rid of the layer underneath that, just to thin up the document a little bit. Oops. There. Good. And let's drop those things out of the way. Free up a little bit of space here. Let's center that up properly. And then, yeah, let's grab this. Obviously, we got some trimming to do, so let's trim. Oops, 0. We're not doing any faded edges on these because we're demonstrating that these are tiles. Pixel perfect. You might want to take a click. Call of Donnie said it got another hot hit. And you want, but no, I'm who you get. Ludicrous coming back, switch back, foot back. I'm coming on like stainless steel. Strong song hopped on cause he ever got sex appeal. And I keep the meanest, cleanest, baddest, spinning on stainless steel. And care less about your genius, I bump your status, I keep your stainless steel. Sorry, Sierra O with Ludacris. It's a fun song. It's worth your time. Luda's pretty damn good. Some of this stuff is silly, but man, when he hits hard. There. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. Those are obviously, I'm gonna have to drop the size on these, but that's okay. So far so good, so what, you know? Bring it on in. Cool. There we go. I have to push it down. I can't just do a simple single line run because the very edge of the brush is it's feathered. So here, you see, there's like this little bit of feathering here. I can't get rid of that. So I just make it a part of whatever it is that I'm doing. There we go. This works well enough. Very good. Those mesh really nicely. Let's trim that edge down to 1 pixel. See how these interior squares are 2 pixels wide? And then I'm making this edge. There we go. Why are you? Why are you still? I'm using. Hold on. Okay, never mind. I'm going crazy. Let's drop this down here, and there we go. Drop this down to a single pixel. Because if the interior squares have if the interior borders are 2 pixels, and I'm going to tile it perpetually, that means the edge of the tile needs to be 1 pixel wide. So every time you connect another tile to an adjacent tile, the outside edge would then have 2 pixels wide border, matching the interior borders. See? If you don't get it yet, here, I'll show you. Let me just finish up this piece here. There. You'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Or, you know, a minute. However long it fucking takes. And yeah, I could probably do some sort of select box to make this a more efficient process, but I kind of like doing it this way. It's not as fast, but obviously speed is not my top priority. See, when you clack these things together, now it's, if I were to, it becomes difficult to tell where does one start and the other one end. It's actually over here. But these all mesh, these mesh pretty well. So I'm really happy with these. It's good. They're good tiles. And we got 35 tiles in this set. Of like curves that connect different sides of things, and like little clearings and all the bits. So I think an actual farmer would be pissed that this much space inside of the cornfield has been trodden down. Like, that's really inefficient. I'd be furious if I was a farmer, but in this scenario, I'd be dead. So I don't care about anything anymore. You gotta wonder how laissez-faire ghosts are in Eberron. Whenever you summon one or whatever, they seem pretty angry. So I think there's some inconsistent branding going on here with the dead in RPGs. So we're just gonna keep, again, trimming the edge, getting that clean, pixel perfect. And we include I mean, the likelihood of you wanting to run a corn maze in the middle of your adventure, in most circumstances, I don't think most people are going to want to. But I think it's a great idea for a toolkit, and the opportunity was here. So it's like, well, I mean, when are we going to take the time to do something like this? Otherwise, it fits the adventure, it fits the scenario, whether you want to use it or not. That's why these things are called optional encounters, so that you can choose to include this for the lulz if that's what your team wants to do. There we go. All right, that one's clean. Optional encounters. Adding undead to the corn maze. Trimmed to 1. Trimmed to 1. Needs trimming. And once these are all trimmed down, we'll just place them on the page, and that'll be it. We'll move on to the next page. We already have the next set of pages being resolved. So we'll just load up 16 through 20. I think it's page 16 through 21 is the next on the set. So once we resolve these tiles, we'll drop in that page set and then start working on those. I think we got some illustrations coming up on page 21. I think we're just going to do some knickknacks. Should be fun. Oh, and we got that edge there. Gotta get rid of that. Very good. Trim that away. There. God damn, that looks good. Obviously, we're gonna have to drop the size of it, and I want to create a gap between these, but I want to first get them connected properly, and then we'll worry about position placement stuff, right? Almost there. Stay on target. This is the job. This is all the shit you gotta do to make to publish stuff. So that's one of the things that we do with this channel is grind through the gritty details, all the boring shit. Because we spent, if you check episode, what episode are we on now? If you check episode 483, which if you're here in the present day time with me here now, that was yesterday's session. I spent a lot of time talking about the grueling effort of art production and how YouTube kind of falsifies the journey and doesn't really emphasize like how grueling this process is. So I want to go through all the pain. I don't punish you with every instance of everything that's happening. I do stuff off screen as well, but I want to spend sufficient time on each task of creating this thing so that you can feel, you know, the hurt of the effort. It's a very delayed gratification. And we were talking about how you create small objectives to be able to trigger your reward system, dopamine, to reward you for your effort, so that you are motivated to apply similar effort in the future to other endeavors, because that reward mechanism is critical for you to be able to actually produce art. Because the amount of mind-numbing boredom that comes along with production beyond just the art of art, the actual production side of it is mind-numbing. And I'm still trained. Like I could have a lot of stock art up and running for people to potentially buy if I was willing to go through the pain and effort of the boredom of producing it. So far, I've not been willing to train myself to do that. And as a result, I don't have as productive of a business as I could. So very snobby in that sense. God damn, these things look good though, man. Look how well these connect to each other. It feels so good. Man, it feels good. Yeah. All right, one more to go, and then we'll arrange. Then we can like place them properly. Too much. So like I said, I stream 9 times per week. Monday through Friday in the morning like this, I do artwork and maps and whatever visual assets are necessary for me to be able to properly publish whatever project we're working on. And then on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we work on the text and mechanics side of stuff. So today is Friday in the real world for those that are trapped here now with me in time, space. Space, time. Here now, space, time. Yes. So we'll continue working on martial powers today at lunch. We'll put an hour into it. We finished the Barbarian last night. So we kind of had a fairly short session. Doesn't have to synchronize perfectly, and obviously you have a tell here because you can see how things splay. Oh, it's over here. Right, I missed that. So yeah, this kind of blends in well. This is a little off, so yeah, it's a little off. Some of the tiles are off, and I'm okay with that. Man, those things line up really nicely. Oh, it feels so good. All right, so let's clackety click. Get those out of the way. Duplicate the group. We're going to resize this one down. Did I? Within 1 pixel. Holy shit. Wait, nope. Oh my god, that's pixel perfect. Serious? Did I just random that in? No, it's a little off. Okay, it skews. But man, that was close. Yeah, it's 1 pixel off. Still a pixel off. Hold on. I'm really really snarping on the size here. Did that work? Super close. Almost there. Almost there. Get it this time? I know this probably isn't really... Oh, this is perfect now. Pixel, perfect. Might want to take a click. All I've done is send a pop the bottle because I got another hit. This would technically be how these things align. Not too bad. Actually, let's... I mean, I know I'm using the faded edges, so I shouldn't really whinge on this too much, but it's just... Now it's just a... Now I'm just kind of fucking around, you know? That aligns. And yeah, I know the texture, like the coloring's a little bit different, but that's okay. It's okay. It fits fine. And they all fit, so I could something like... something like that. What if I disconnected that? Let's duplicate these layers again. Make sure we don't have any mistakes. Transform. Damn, okay, now it's too big. Okay, so not so much, not as such. Let's drop it down a bit in size so it fits in frame. Still a little bit big down here, so let's drop it down a little bit more. Shift this so it's centered up. Feels pretty good. Cool, okay. Now, might want to drop. The adjacent map is an example of arranging terrain tiles that are provided with this adventure when purchased on a DMsGuild here. Click the button. Undead have wandered from the Carnwood into the farmlands of the village. Any homestead that has been attacked has undead roaming the fields. If left unchecked, they create new packs of undead, as described in optional Encounter 1 Undead Pack Attack. The paths through the fields can be traveled unobstructed, and you can thrash through the tall stalks as difficult terrain. A character that takes the search or study action can make an intelligence or wisdom investigation or survival check to find recent tracks leading to a pack of roaming undead. On the paths, the DC is 16. Through the tall stalks, the DC is 12. I'll probably change that. I think what I'm going to do is like make a little Mabar symbol as like a bullet point. The Mabar symbol is... This is the symbol of Mabar. 1, 2, 1, 2, arrow pointing up. There you go. Like it'd be like here. That space, like that's the symbol of Mabar. So we'll probably make a little icon. this. Oh, there you go, nitpicking again. And then we'll probably like push the text in. More like that. Something like that. Or we could do instead, merge these down. Actually, what might be more fun. You get what I'm doing here? Dorb Norgit. Done it wrong again. All right, let's try doing it right this time. There and there. Transform. Basically like that. Merge. down. I mean, this is quick and dirty. We'll do something more technical later. But it's like small little detail, but the little details like this are going to end up making it look really fucking cool. We generally go 3 spaces in when we tab, and there. So we're in 3 spaces, and look at that. It lines up very nicely. So yeah, this is probably what we'll this is how we're probably going to end up doing this. These little I am a bar little symbols here to be our bullet points, little custom bullet points. And having that throughout the adventure is going to end up making it look pretty fucking cool. So, and I don't mind using the black dots here versus the was like 120, 112. There you go. It's gonna sit nice on the page. God damn, that's gonna look good. And we're gonna have a ton of these little buttons that we're gonna have to end up dropping in. So that's going to be. That's gonna be insane. It'll take me probably take me like 3 or 4 hours for me to drop all those little icons in. But now we've established them, and they make sense. So, God, that feels good. Let's actually let's take this and let's see what happens if we. Oops. What's happen if we drop it down? Point. Doesn't look bad. I think I like the black better though. Bruff. Okay, cool. So let's break up this page. And how are we doing on time? 7:30. Okay, we got 20 minutes left. Oops. Let's take this and this. Actually, let's do 4, 5, 6. That feels pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That feels pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and put a lock on this for now. Technically, I'm not gonna put a lock on it, but I'm pretty happy with it. I'm gonna hit save. Save regardless, because I got some text messing around to do on this. I think this weekend. I think I want to flesh out the description here a little bit more to lean into the tiling here. Maybe like describe the scenario here up top and then talk about tiling in this block down here. I've got another paragraph of space I can include. I think that's what I want to do. So, let's see. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. All right, save one more time. I'm going to get this out of the way. Technically, we've done all we need to do here on screen with you guys for page 13 through 15. So now I'm going to open up 16 to 21. And when that finishes loading up, we'll get rid of 13 through 15. So we still have to do icons like little descriptors like this is a blood stain here, and this is a tree, all that kind of stuff. We need to have little icons down here with a key, a map key is what we need, a map key. And then we have the locations, which are out of order currently, but whatever. We'll fix that as well, and we'll drop the icons here. And we already know we're going to be using the Atrios 22-point font, Atrios, Atrios, and with black dots and white text. So we'll string all that up like we did with the little I'm a bar bullet points. That page is good. This page is like completely finished. We're good with this one. You can see here, undead attacks. Here's the constabulary leading off to the mayor's apartment. Here's the wood mill. It's been attacked. Here we have a gap. We have a gap down here, and I haven't decided what I want to do with that. This page is completely resolved. You can see all sorts of bad news is happening inside of the warehouse and the granary. Here's the community well, and the commons, and the apartment. So we have both of these in the same image here. Maybe And then on this bottom page here, we have a lot of open space that we can add undead to, or maybe I can monkey around with the format. Let's monkey around with the format a smidge. Let's duplicate that layer, and then free transform. Oh wow, they actually in 2025 I actually have to select an area to transform. Did not expect that. Oh, it's locked. That's what's going on. Durr. Unlock. Free transform. There we go. Here. There we go. So what if we expand this out? Here. So we can de-emphasize the mayor's apartment. kind of like that. Center that up a little bit better. That feels pretty good. That feels really good. You're gonna see a lot of this form, like in the underground facility, where it's an integrated, you know, an actual like dungeon with like adjacent rooms and hallways and stuff. This is the type of, we're gonna see this formatting of that space more. You can see how this like fills the space, but it's just utilizing the map page that exists. So we have like probably 50 of the pages of this adventure is using existing map assets that we spent the time here on stream to make all the maps. And now when we're actually stressing up the adventure, we just get to drop those map assets onto the pages. And then whatever gaps are left over, we can decide, do I want to add an illustration here, or how do I want to handle the remnant space on the page? And that is where we'll be able to focus most of our attention on here while we're streaming, on making those individual little vignette illustrations to pad out the narrative of the adventure. More so like the maps and tokens is the technical side of it, and then the spot illustrations on the pages is more of the narrative of the adventure. So you have those two, the visual elements working on those in those two dimensions at the same time together to create a story. The narrative creates a story, the mechanics create the game. That feels really good. I'm gonna leave this in place here for now. Just for nowing it. But yeah, that feels really, really good. I like that. Okay, so now we have a separate quandary that we're going to be creating a lot of space on this page. How do I want to utilize that? So let's duplicate the layer first. And then disconnecting the smudge space, we're going to expand here. That is a lot of empty space that's being opened up here, isn't it? I am not necessarily excited about that, because this is like a quarter-page illustration, effectively like a half-page illustration I had not anticipated including into the space. That's going to add production time. Obviously, it's going to add probably a week of production time just to resolve the rest of this page. But this is where we are being guided to, and we have to respect the process. So let's just respect it. I don't like having images spanning across if I can help it. But what if, let's get fancy. Let's just disable this layer altogether. Let's grab this, drop it down into here. Poof, that is a lot of space I just don't need. So let's trim away all of the fat. Then I 100% do not need that. Don't need that. What if I did that? Okay, yeah, I think that works. And then we re-enable the smudge layer here and see how are we sitting inside this space now. So we can push that up. Mischief managed. I think this is going to work. So let's just keep working the problem. That's too close. So let's undo all of that. Let's disable this layer. There. Okay. Let's take this back. This will probably work out. Roll out, me and my homies with the top back. By changing the emphasis, we can modify the expectations of the image. Okay, I don't know what the hell that meant. Never mind. I have no idea what I'm talking about there. Schmutz on my screen. there, blend that in. There we go. Go. Drop. Let's drop the whoa. R. Drop down the smudge to 20%, so it's delicate, more delicate for blending instead of pushing. So we want to do right now. We want to blend, not push. Go. Blend to win. There we go. Okay, cool. So that feels it's a little off. Hey, how about that on timing? When we come back tomorrow, wait, no, today's Friday. We won't be back tomorrow. We're going to be back on Monday. On Monday, when we're back in, I'm going to put some sort of illustration down here on the page. Probably like there's a. I'm thinking like there's a strong box and a journal. I'm thinking about just doing a little vignette of just like objects, like coins, the strong box, gem, a journal, blood. I can have that fit in this. I can have that fit inside this space with relative ease. So yeah, that's what I'll probably end up doing. Probably just doing a little object illustration. Hopefully nothing too intense. Okay, now I'm curious about what a Karnath stone, what a Karnathi currency look like. I haven't done any research on currency, but now we have the opportunity to do that, and what a cool little piece of idea. God, it would be really, really neat to have Siren and Karnathi coinage in the strongbox, because there's both Siren refugees and Karnathi veterans that are in this village, just trying to not think about the past and what we can do to move forward with our families. That's kind of the focus here, hence the title, Village Peace. But I think there's a lot of cool potential there. So I'm going to see if there's any information about currency. And I'll probably hit the Eberron Discord to ask about that. But I like this. That sits really pretty. So let's connect these two things and pull them down a little bit on the page so they don't snug up against the top border so much. Then we can push up the border a little bit here. Oh, God, I love this. This is turning out so nicely. It's pretty much what I had hoped / intended for this to look like. I don't visualize in my mind so good. Like I can't take images and drop them onto the page for my mind's eye. My mind's eye isn't that focused. It's more of a concept that I then pixel push into existence onto the page. There. Okay. This is starting to feel like a little strongbox here, a journal here, some scattered coins and a gem. I think that's gonna fill the space really freaking nicely. So this is 5 inches wide. This is 5 inches wide. This is 5 inches wide. And then we've got a half inch. That's 1 inch. And then we have half inch. That's 17 inches. So 5, 5, 5, half inch, 17 inches wide, 10 inches tall, half inch here at the top of the page, 1 inch here. So it's actively 8.5. Like the white area, like 1 inch. So it's 10 inches tall. It's half inch here at the bottom of the page, and it's 1 inch at the bottom of the page and a half inch here. So that takes it from 10 down to 9, 8.5. So this column here is 8.5 by 5 inches. If we got rid of the trim, if we kept the trim, it's 6 by 10. I don't think 6 by 10 is a standard page size, but it's pretty close. So if I decided to get into doing like zines or whatever, like small scale zines, I'm already getting myself into a space where I'm familiar with working inside that space with a 12-point font. So it's really easy. But all my stuff is digital, so I don't have to really worry about that. It's just something interesting that I'm noting. So that's it for now, guys. I'm going to be back at lunch today, so I'm anticipating somewhere between 2:30, like 2 o'clock. I'll probably be gearing up around 2 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock now here in Seattle. That's 6 hours from now. We'll be back on. We're going to work on the fighter subclasses for the martial power system, just making sure that all the bonus powers are accurate per level and access, and making sure all of the subclass features are properly listed in the playtest document. So we'll be doing technical work on game design later on today. I have my mega dungeon, my martial powers mega dungeon playtest tomorrow, and then I'll be off on Sunday, and then Monday when we come back in, we'll continue with spot illustration here at the bottom of the page, and yeah, Bob's your uncle. So I'll see you guys in the future. Thanks a lot for being here. Thanks to any subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. It's so sweet that folks are taking an interest in this and jumping on board. Really appreciate you. Let's hit the save button, and I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in the future. Cheers.